Here's a tweet from Allie. Joe from You might be a murderous creep, but Penn Badgley is a delight, and I'm very glad I exist at the same time as him. I'm sitting down with actor and musician Penn Badgley, who you know from films like Easy A and John Tucker Must Die, playing Dan Humphrey on Gossip Girl, and now he stars in You, which just debuted its second season on Netflix. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So I am very excited to talk to you about the show. I'm not going to really try to spoil anything for folks who haven't caught up on season 2.
Right.
But for those who haven't seen it yet, it's been out for a couple of weeks on Netflix. Where does season 2 pick up after season 1?
I mean, right where it left off. We even reshot parts of the last scene. The last couple of moments of the first season. We elongated that scene, which you see in flashbacks in the first episode. So, I mean, I guess I don't want to spoil the first season either for anybody. So basically, like, there's somebody that. So we all know Joe's a murderer, right? There's somebody that we. Well, this would spoil it too. Well, there's somebody that we think. There's somebody that surprises him from his past. Now I sound like a blurb, but there's somebody from his past who's hunting him, and he's running from this person. So he goes from New York to LA.
Well, speaking of LA, we have this tweet from Mush who says, the people I'm most scared of after watching You are the residents of Los Angeles. As a New Yorker, how do you feel about the show's depiction of Los Angeles?
Well, I mean, so there's like the LA that Hollywood always depicts, which is like Hollywood, which is a very, 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 very small segment actually of Los Angeles. So Los Angeles is like it's a massive, wildly diverse city. It's a lot of things. When you go there as an actor, you experience it in a certain way. I enjoy visiting. Mm-hmm. I enjoy visiting.
You'll just leave it right there. Well, season 2 has another shocking twist ending. Where do you think Joe can kind of go from here?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I don't think that redemption for him is like possible. I mean, maybe theoretically it's possible for all people, but he's among the worst. I think that, you know, what I've been thinking a lot about is justice in the show. Is there justice? And the truth is, no, I don't think there is yet. So to me, where the show will go, I mean, I think for us to be doing it in the right way and to have it all have been worthwhile in the end, if it goes 3 or 4 or 5 seasons, I mean, it's a tough concept to keep making new, which is, you know, what you're asking, like, where can it go? I think there needs to be a real sense of justice, not for Joe, but for us in this world that has been created. And I think that probably means that Joe is going to be unhappy because he is constitutionally unhappy. Indeed.
Well, I mean, you said that he is pretty terrible. And as you've promoted the show, you've talked about how we're kind of primed to forgive murderous white men. How do you think the response to season 2 compares to the conversation around season 1? Do you feel like people are being more rightly critical of him?
I mean, yeah, I do. Also, like, you know, I don't know what it results in. It's not like, is the world better around us?
Right.
and you know, I mean, it's a television show, and I'm not sure. I think it's great that we have these meaningful conversations around a show.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's the best you can hope for.
Yeah.
That's literally because a show's not going to change the world, nor is a small group of people. So it's great that people can watch it and binge it and have fun, because that is you know, the primary purpose of entertainment. And then think about these things because it's so troubling. I mean, I think that's rad. And it does seem like the show has picked up from. In the terms of the response to it, it seems like the show has really picked up from where it left off, and people are like, all right, great. Let's keep this weird media, like, I don't know, it's just cool. Like, I'm here, you know, able to talk about it in this way that I think is really gratifying.
Has it made you think more about some of these things? Do you ever feel conflicted playing a character like Joe?
I mean, yeah, immensely. No, I mean, every time other than the period where I'm acting on camera, which is between action and cut.
Wow.
I'm always very conflicted until that point. And then in that point, I have to do what I have to do. I'm a full puppet. I just have to, you know, and I mean that in a good way. I don't mean it in that is the job of an actor. You're a vessel for these things.
Well, as someone who acknowledges the kind of privilege they have, what kind of responsibility do you feel in terms of bringing about change in Hollywood more broadly?
I mean, it's a great question. I think truly bringing about change in Hollywood, I mean, that's like, well, you know what? Okay, so I'm trying to not make this a long-winded answer. I think the problem with Hollywood, like any structure of power, is that it's centralized. It needs to be decentralized. Hollywood is Hollywood can't even represent America to it. Hollywood can't even represent LA to itself, let alone the whole world of relationships and people and emotions and stuff. So I just think we just need to have more Hollywoods. We need to have people making media of all kinds, from all places. Of course, what does that word look like? Please, somebody tweet that at me.
Do you find yourself having conversations with other actors about this? I mean, do you get a sense that people, with the way that power in Hollywood has been challenged over the last couple of years, I mean, do you find people actually having substantial conversations about these things?
Yes, but I have to say, there's like a lot of the challenges we face. I'm so serious sometimes. I really forgive me.
Please, we have plenty of time.
Yeah, like the challenges we face. I think collectively, it's so systemic that it's kind of hard to say. It's kind of hard to clearly know where to start. I think that's where it's like the first step is conversations, and I do think I don't have a lot of friends who are actors. Maybe because these sorts of conversations are insufferable. I don't know. I live in New York, so it's like, so I was reminded when I went to Hollywood, like, wow, yeah, it's like such an intense culture, and it is powerful and persuasive and seductive, and it's not all bad. It's just reflective of the way things have been. How does it change? Yeah, I don't know. It begins with conversations, but it can't end in conversation.
Well, I want to get to this tweet from BuzzFeed News reporter Katie Notopoulos, who said, I feel like I don't see people constantly talking about this photo, and I don't understand why.
Oh, whoa.
Yes, this is the picture of you at the Occupy Wall Street protest in 2011. Are there any other political issues that are really inspiring you to speak out?
It's funny. That's reflective of a time when, like, I think I was probably 24. I did get a lot of flack for what I think was deemed some sort of vague hypocrisy of like being a wealthy actor, which at that point was, certainly a newfound wealth, though it doesn't matter. And then being able to, theoretically seeming to be part of what was, the 1%, and yet wanting to be amongst the 99. And I don't know, I think like that was interesting, because now, nearly 10 years later, it seems like with a little bit of maturity that I have, if there's any wisdom or experience I've gained, it's just, we're all really actually, I think, struggling to point at the roots of all of these injustices that we see in the world, and we're just learning how to have the conversations, some of us. And now I feel like, I don't know. I mean, even the word activism, I'm not sure how I feel about it, because it's great, but then I think the way that it manifests for so many of us, I don't know. I mean, I even get a little bit nervous when I start to go on too long, and I'm like, I'm the one who's on TV, and I don't know how that answers your question at all, but I'm trying, it is important that we all think about these matters of social justice, and thank God it's like somehow a popular thing now.
Well, I want to switch gears just a little bit.
Please, let's do that.
You've said that Joe in you is a little bit of a progression of your Gossip Girl character, Dan Humphrey. What connections do you see between those two?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there are a lot of connections to be drawn. Somehow, Gossip Girl and this show are having a little bit of a cultural conversation through me, because I'm the person who's in both of them. Yeah, in some ways, I think this show shares a lot of DNA with that kind of show, because it is frothy on one hand. It's very consumable. It's very fast-paced. And it's dealing mostly in the stuff of young relationships, which is what people love to watch. Which, if you think about it, a world of people, of adults and all ages, loves to watch stories about teenagers fumbling around awkwardly in romance, which is very weird. And yet we're just like, yeah, no, that's good. I like that.
It's a lot to unpack.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's one of the Gossip Girl producers recently said that he'd like to bring Dan back for the reboot series. Is there an
Did he
arc
say that publicly?
would? I
We need to
Is
actually
there an
have a
arc that would
conversation.
interest you?
Theoretically, yeah. In theory, anything.
In theory,
is possible.
anything would
Yeah,
interest you.
I mean, I would be, I think sometimes the things I say about Gossip Girl get taken really out of context. I have gratitude to the creators and love for the experience. I would be down to try something as long as it really seemed like it was worth the effort.
How do you feel about the series being rebooted already, even just like 10 years out?
I know.
It's so soon.
Well, that's reflective of our culture that's just getting,
Yeah.
Everything is just faster and faster and faster. And now, I mean, yeah, I'm not even 35. And like the show is, it's like I'm not even senior yet coming back. It's, but yeah, I'm definitely very interested to see how they're thinking about advancing the concept.
Well, another similarity between you and Gossip Girl are the iconic voiceovers, and we thought that we would test your ability to tell the difference between some of them. So I have a card with quotes, and some of these are Gossip Girl voiceovers, and some of these are from you.
Okay.
And I was hoping you could read them and tell me which one comes from which.
You want me to read it like a? This is how I do
Yes,
this show.
please.
I have to get into this.
Get into that. Yes.
Get into this very deep place. This has got to be Gossip Girl. When the punishment fits the crime. You want me to read it like?
Yeah.
I forgot her name for a second. Kristen Bell.
Yes, please.
See, that's the kind
however you feel moved to read it.
Yeah. Okay. When the punishment fits the crime, there is no reason you can't serve your sentence in style. Yeah, that's definitely Gossip Girl. It's got to be.
That's correct.
Yeah, okay.
It's Gossip Girl.
Okay. It isn't hard to convince someone you love them if you know what they want to hear. That's Joe.
That's correct. That's from you.
Okay. You just learned the true meaning of publish or that's Gossip Girl.
You are nailing these. Can you read it can you at least humor us by reading it a little bit?
You just learned the true meaning of publish or perish. Okay. But life isn't a fairy tale, and happy endings are few and far between. In life, the young queen becomes a tyrant and takes her subjects to war. That's Gossip Girl.
That is Gossip Girl,
Yeah.
correct.
In these days, the quickest way to find a man's truth is through his computer. I'm pretty sure that's the only one that's going to challenge me. I'm going to say that's you.
Correct.
Okay, yeah. The universe has a funny way of keeping us humble. Joe mentions the universe a few times. He also, I think that's Joe. That's you?
It's you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And we have one more.
This last one, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I'll read it like Joe. So until next time, you know you love me. XO. XO. There's your soundbite. You guys got it.
That was incredible. Thank you so much for humoring me.
Of course.
I wish that they were a little bit harder, but that was.
It's okay.
really
I mean,
delightful.
I am Gossip Girl and you, so I should know this.
There you go. Well, listen, Penn, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah,
Congrats
thank
on
you for
season
having
2.
me. Thank you.
And You Season 2 is streaming now on Netflix. Up next, more AM to DM. You're such a good